Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah.
If you hear me, Drago, I hope you're enjoying your lunch. I imagine it's a bologna sandwich with some scrumptious white bread, smothered in mayonnaise.
Sir, I do not eat sandwich. Bread is a no for me. I only eat meat and some dairy.
What up, show? I think you should be able to jump on stage, maybe.
I do have the perms. Yeah. I have the perms. Wow, it's been a while.
How you doing, dude?
Good. How's my audio? Am I over talking you or?
Ooh, no, you sound so good, dude. Whatever you have, we got to get over to Rizzle ASAP. No. You don't want my setup. It's like this is not the best environment or thing going on here. So, what are you using mic-wise? You got a Yeti?
Yeah, it's a Blue Yeti, but it has some years on it now. You know, especially knowing me screaming into it. I don't think it's.
I just imagine like you have to have like a spittle protector. You get so animated. It's like, you got to protect this bad boy. Not mine's. These things are tanks, though. They're built so solidly. I've had mine since the jump too, and I think it still sounds not terrible.
I mean, yeah, to be honest, this has lasted longer than my other microphones. I've gone through 3 before I got to this one. So for as long as you've known me, it's been like this. So, yeah.
Nice, man. Super happy you finally took me up on the offer to just jump on here when we get to recording. I've been excited for this. Rizzle should be jumping on too. I hit him up. I should have just grabbed the top of the hour for recording, but I played it super close to the end of my other call and it just ran over by 30 minutes. One of those damn calls.
No, I know how it is. So I understand entirely. Yeah. I mean, like, when I hit you up, like, I guess a couple of weeks ago, I guess I was like, everything was kind of coming together. So I was like, wait, let me hop on and then talk about it then. But I was like, nah, it was way too soon. Way too soon. Knowing what I know now is way too soon. So, yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I mean, we have like WIP coin, but then I just got back from Toledo. That was a whole beautiful thing. Finally left me feeling properly inspired. It was like a booster shot of inspiration. It was really, really what I needed at the right time. But then there's base launching a coin or exploring, quote unquote, a bunch of other shenanigans. We got Rizzle.
I saw your picture that you posted, and I was like, "Oh man!" And Matthew's always in like the good events. He's always at the places where things are going on.
No, yeah, like Toledo was. It was an interesting town, man. Like I definitely can't call it a city. It felt like a proper town. At first, I was like, "Oh man, this is a ghost town. Like it's a very clean ghost town. Like where we were." Downtown, I was walking and it just people were in places. We went to this place called Frick's and they have things called like chicken chunks that are absolutely delicious, but it was packed wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder. It was an absolute vibe. And then to go to this world-class museum, see amazing art, see like all the digital art presented in just the most caring, thoughtful way. Folks, collectors, artists, all present, like going in the same direction into the future at the bleeding edge of art and culture and magic internet money. It was fun, man. And to have that museum be so close with the surrounding community, host a block party that they do every year, apparently, have Beeple sat in the damn middle of the intersection doing his daily drawing. Having a huge Chinese style drone show at the end of the day with squiggles and punks over the museum, but the rest of the community looking out onto it. It was crazy cool. But anyway, I digress.
Oh no, that just sounds fire.
Yo, can you hear me? Slightly in the veggie drawer.
In the veggie drawer? All right, let me see if I can move. Better, worse, same?
Louder, so yeah, it's better.
All right, cool.
We got a 3-way on this episode of Matthew and Rizzle show. Actually, we should probably we just like add an S, so it's still Mars. But we got Show joining us today. Going to dig into a lot of things, but pass the mic over to Show. Dude, this is your show today. How should we kick things off?
Oh man, I mean, we can basically talk about the past couple of weeks, you know. I mean, launching a token, you know, and then also launching a mini app on Farcaster 2 is these things. It's a lot of effort, a lot of work, no small feat at all. So we could talk about all that, and then also bass. I'm a big fan of bass now. There's a lot of energy behind that, a lot of rumors. I think the sentiment overall in the space has kind of shifted from NFTs into decentralized apps and community and incentivizing community in order to push this whole thing forward.
Yeah, I want to co-sign on that, man. It feels like in a lot of ways this cycle is where a lot of tools are being built for us. And, we had co-build on a couple weeks ago, which sort of like popped out around the same time as we launched WIP coin and everything, which was just a coincidence. But it was a great, like, random new functionality that was a cool way to give the community something to do with our thing, like, immediately. And it seems like, I mean, we've been like sort of banging this drum for a long time about how important community is, whether it's around like a token or an NFT project or a mini app, or like, if what you're ultimately pushing is speculative pump and dump, you can say community until you're blue in the face, but it's really hard to create a community around something like that. So it is interesting that this cycle, like, there's actually like tools that are coming out that seem to really help us do what we've been trying to do, which is, just sort of mobilize the community of people who love this tech.
So, dude, you want to take us back to, honestly, I'm curious to hear from you, the inception to launch or relaunch the WIP coin, and kind of take it from there and catch folks up to date if they haven't been to the WIP on where we're at today. Then we can jump into the future from there.
Me?
Yeah, you do. Well, this is great because I sort of gave my side of it like, a week or two ago when we recorded, but Show obviously wasn't here. And this is something Show and I had been talking about for a long time, that he put in the bulk of the difficulty of the tech work to make it happen, man. So yeah, would love to hear the story from Show's side.
But yeah, first off, I didn't want to keep the entire team in the dark, but I just felt like it would create an added effect if we just left it to the final minute and then surprised everybody with all the effort that was put in over the past 2 months that followed the deployment. Ultimately, it started at a bar in New York City with Rizzle, and then we really started talking at his Airbnb. And there was a lot of frustration all around, not really with the WIP, but more so with crypto as a whole. And we started to realize that many people were giving a lot of undue credit to new communities or communities that weren't really putting in effort or weren't as consistent as we were. So we just felt like it was kind of time that we established our flag. I mean, our flag is already there, but it just kind of seemed like people weren't really respecting what was happening here. Or there are many that do, but then there just always seems to be a brand new onboarding pipeline, a brand new crop of people. It just feels like it's like every year, when a class of children graduate and then they go out into the real world, they don't know what already happened in the real world, and they don't really have the time or attention span to really pay attention to what happened. They just want to carve their own niche and then create their own narrative. So as these conversations developed, instead of going from frustration, I wanted to get right into action. And the best thing to do was to reestablish it. This isn't necessarily resurrecting the WIP coin that came out years ago. This is more so, this is its own thing. It's brand new. I'm not really into starting anything that's flimsy or really with YOLO energy. I like to really place everything meticulously. I'm very patient with what I do. If I feel like something isn't really worth the time, I don't want to expend the energy on it. So if I decide to commit myself, I always see it through and always keep my word. I don't like to make, open promises, but more so keeping my word, as in like, if I say, hey, I want to launch this thing, I want to build it out, then I really mean it, because I've thought about it for hours and hours before that. I could have easily just said, no, it's a waste of time. We did this already. The crypto space doesn't need yet another coin. Speaking of another coin, I didn't want to do a meme coin. I didn't want to do obviously a shit coin either. This isn't a pump and dump. I really wanted something that really lasted long, and that was just as consistent as the WIP has been over the past 5.5, 6 years. And in addition to that, I'm pretty sure people have kind of seen like, hey, all right, so the coin is out. What's happening in terms of marketing? What's going on? They don't know that behind the scenes, there are a lot of wheels in motion. The house needs to be built brick by brick, with a lot of patience and time involved in it. There's a lot of things that have to be established in terms of like, oh, if the images isn't popping up, where's the white paper? Where's this? It's obviously coming. This takes time. Anytime you launch a token, if you're using a third party, then you're using their services in order to get on token lists, or you're using their services in order to even make decisions. This has been built from the ground up. So a lot of that really falls on the people who start it. So and when that happens, the effort is the effort, and you'll see it in due time. It's not going to be immediate. Just for like just to satisfy your immediate needs. Over time, you'll be satisfied because you'll see the effort really laid in place.
Yeah, dude, I want to just piggyback on that. And that's something I tried to like scratch on the other week. And I don't know if this is really lost on the class of whatever generation of Web3 we're in now, 2025. Because it's so because a token, sometimes tokens are deployed even if you don't even know that you're deploying them. And this is not something that was just like YOLO'd from the Clanker bot on Farcaster or whatever. And not even to hate on that, because there are interesting things going on with that, but it's a very old school, different approach than the majority of tokens being released right now, because we really approach this situation with our specific situation in mind, and how to balance tokenomics and what distribution would look like, and what sort of like incentivization models we wanted to put in place. And those aren't things that you have like full control over if you're using a third party to deploy a coin. Some things you do, some things you don't, some things more than others, but you definitely don't have control over everything. So to really like put the time and energy into building something from the ground up that custom served our purpose was the goal. And once again, I don't know if that's lost or or is something that is people really even understand at this point, because that was the only way to deploy something for such a long time. But the thought and intent that went into this is not insignificant, and I was really like, and I mentioned it before, man. I kept firing questions at Show, and Show had like clearly spent many hours like considering every angle of like every situation and everything, and was just dealing, and came out of some of these conversations really feeling like, who better to do this than our community? And this does feel like the thing that is an easily accessible way to put our face on the map of easily accessible things that people just want to participate in and feel like they're a part of.
Yeah. Personally, I'm most excited for where we go from here. I totally agree in the coordination value of having a token and then being able to ascribe and reference it across time, just to make individual contributions, group collective contributions more legible on chain and then like digitally. But yeah, dude, catch us up to speed. So like where we're at today, and then like what are some of the next steps that are going to be coming? And also just like, you can plan all you want, but once you launch the damn thing, there's all these inbound messages that are coming in, folks that are like, oh, what's next? Or like, where's my allocation and things like that. Curious to hear about some surprises that you may have encountered as well.
Well, they're not necessarily surprises because I've been around this block multiple times. I've been a part of the leadership team of one of the biggest social token communities in this space, in addition to launching my own social token that I've had in the ecosystem for 2.5 years. So all those messages are basically just like customer service. It's like Zendesk. Really never promising anything. If I have a clear answer in a moment, then I provide it for you. If I don't, then I just tell you, give me a moment. They can't be impatient with their question, and I won't be impatient with my response. It's just so I don't want to create any unnecessary expectation. So even with promising like, oh, this is gonna make you rich or famous if you do this, this, and this, is just something legally actually is a real thing that's a problem. Even if crypto assets aren't considered securities anymore, thanks to the SEC chairman's his live speech last week. Still, I still want to make sure that I'm hyper aware of what I'm saying in terms of what the coin does. So obviously NFA, DYOR, y'all, or whoever's listening. But I always felt like the WIP needed a product just really getting its lumps in. I mentioned this to the crew last year, like early in March of last year. And I still believe that we needed something out here just in the ebb of flow of things, getting its licks in, and taking a beating when the market takes a beating, rising up when the market rises up, because this is history, and we should also have something that kind of reflects that too. That's kind of in the mix as well. In terms of what's coming up within going into the next quarter, like I said, we're building this house. I'm not really into just YOLOing in terms of distribution, throwing things everywhere. It needs to make sense, and then eventually distribution will take care of itself. There'll be larger allocations thrown at other things, but right now we're just making sure that the white paper and other aspects that are highly important to it are going to come out in due time. Because obviously, it just came out 2 weeks ago. We all know that token lists take a long time to get your token to get listed, as well as being on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. They have you jump through hoops just to even show yourself, unless you go through a third party, but then you become beholden to a third party, which is not what any of us want at the moment. We don't need someone informing on our current narrative.
Talk about the app, man. I know you've been like working hard out there, and you like were alluding to it in the afties about just some of the struggles getting some of this shit out the gate. And I don't doubt it, man, because as you were like rattling on about like the different things you need to know in order to string all these pieces together, I'm like, well, shit, I don't know that. And it actually makes it, I don't know if there's like and maybe you can help clarify this, man. I don't know if there's a misconception over like if it's really just that easy to vibe code something and put it out there, or if what you're doing is just sort of like the coin. You're trying to do something that's like more sophisticated than just like whatever bullshit that you can vibe code. But I'm like starting to get back to, I'm like, look at all the junk that's out there. I'm like, I still feel like the idea of the mini apps is cool, but there's really not a lot of like useful or interesting ones out there that I end up playing around with for more than like a week or so. They all just seem like sort of fly-by-night experiments that which I like, again, but not a whole lot seems to stick, and the quality level seems like still like fairly low.
I think that this is just the beginning in terms of adoption of the concept of mini apps, or the adoption of decentralized apps still, even though it's been years for D apps, but mini apps has been very recent. The tide is turning. There's a lot of attention now on Forecaster specifically, and I think that anything involving hype with NFTs or meme coins they're just going to be one aspect of the total whole. I think that attaching those things to a mini app is going to propel many companies in the future. That's some alpha. So if anyone's looking to do something like that, there it is. And we can also look towards what Base is doing, but we'll get to that after I talk about this. I felt like I wanted my own product in this space too. So I've been working for 3 months on my own mini app. and I just had my nose down to the keyboard every single day, and I only ramped up once August hit. I really started ramping up all of my coding hours. So basically, I would spend between 8 to 10 hours a day, basically coding this app while simultaneously getting the code correct for the WIP coin too. I originally wanted to launch them both at the same time. But I just felt like the WIP coin needed to get out first, and then I'll be able to finish off the mini app that's going to be launching very, very soon. So the thing is, when it comes to launching anything on Farcaster, there are a lot of docs involved. So there's information about what you're able to do, what you aren't able to do. Some things are deprecated, so you kind of got to catch up with what's going on. There's some companies, shout out to Nanar, who are like the kings of like API endpoints and also facilitating a very simple vibe coded mini app. They have a template. You could just close your eyes and do it with cursor. And then you pay them, and then they'll be able to do all the things that you probably don't know how to do. But I tend to like to get my hands dirty, and I really want to take ownership of anything I'm creating. So I basically just did it on my own. And I haven't really been delayed. It's just more a matter of it takes a lot of time to really get things from an idea into full on production and out into the world. So a lot of times when dealing with errors that involve mini apps on Farcaster, there's some things that you don't know about. There's surprises that pop up. Not necessarily errors on my end, but more so when you're trying to do QA, which is what my mini app is currently in. It's just a couple of tweaks here and there, things you don't realize. Certain things shift and change with the Farcaster mini app. With the Farcaster app that you aren't aware of. So if you don't get the notice, then you have to switch your dependencies, or you have to switch certain things in order to make sure that certain endpoint URLs are correct. They're updated. They have the right terminology in order to be read by the Farcaster app, and also be able to be seen as a web page too if you use it in your browser. So it's basically just keeping your eyes open and having to always adjust on the fly. So anyway, the name of my app, the name of my mini app is called Zup Zups. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I'll say it again. You can't probably say it without stuttering, but Zup Zups. And it has no meaning at all. It just sounds really goofy and playful, because ultimately, when it comes to creating content on Farcaster, a lot of times it's not really fun. You're just a reply guy to people talking about food or talking about their day, and their content lacks any kind of personality or anything, and you're not really incentivized to engage with their with their content, unless you're using Tippin. Shout out to Tippin, right? But so I felt like there wasn't enough interesting content being surfaced from people who are otherwise being ignored. So I wanted to incentivize people to find content that they absolutely like, they're kind of lukewarm about, or they totally dislike, and not really like, you're not collecting the content, but you're more so commenting on the content. This is a peer-to-peer content rating app where you're sharing your sentiment on what you're reading. So if someone's saying, hey, oh my God, I just got this fish sandwich and it's the best, you got to go here, and the sandwich looks terrible, you can utilize a keyword and an emoji combo that expresses your sentiment. Either you like it or you dislike it. And then following that, you have to write something very, very unique. And when you write that unique thing, it can express exactly what your real opinion is. So you can say that, no, that sandwich is terrible, I absolutely dislike it. And hopefully you create some kind of discourse that's interesting to read in the replies. Lately, you just see a lot of replies, and the person who wrote the original cast doesn't reply unless they like the individual, or they won't reply at all. They just keep moving and they just farm engagement, and then you see them on the ranking leaderboard, just collecting their $2 or $3 rewards. And I wanted to change that. I think that this is going to hold a lot of people accountable for what they write as a cast. It's going to get some energy going. And you're also going to be incentivized by the WIP token. So the WIP token is going to serve as the ecosystem token for the Zup Zups app. anytime you do any of these emoji combos, you connect to the app. It's gonna scan your recent casts. If any of them fall correctly into the category of being a combo, then you're gonna be rewarded for it. The reason why I say unique content is because you can't spam. Well, for two reasons. One, you can't spam the same thing over and over again. You can't say, let's say, this is a super weak with the emoji combo that accompanies the super weak keyword, and just say, that sucks. And then in someone else's cast, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. And then just expect to just farm the WIP token. You're going to be held accountable for what you write. So if you try to do that, then the app is obviously going to tell, and it's going to deny you for the second and third spam attempt that you created. It's probably going to credit you for the first. And then after that, you can't really use it at all. So you're going to have to keep coming up with new ways to engage with content, and also raise your own profile, because the more you engage, the Farcaster app as a whole is going to see that and probably put you higher up on that leaderboard and also within the algorithm. So it works kind of both ways. So you're incentivized just to engage more with the app, and also you also be incentivized by the mini app as a whole. And lastly, if you spam, obviously that's gonna affect your status on Farcaster, the overall app. So I don't think that's really a good idea. And also, who wants to waste their time just spamming on casts and replies? You're not really getting anything for it. So it's about time you start writing some awesome things and reply to people in an awesome way.
Dude, I feel like on some very basic level, you're reintroducing a dislike button. I mean, that's how I imagine using this personally. I'm like, dude, I like fucking, I troll people for fun, man. If I can like throw an emoji combo down afterwards and, somehow get rewarded for it, that sounds great to me. But dude,
I think, hold on real quick,
man.
Because Rizzle had a genius, that framing, like you're introducing the dislike button. Like even if it's not its intended purpose, that framing is edgy, especially on a mini app on base app or Farcaster. That's fucking fire. I just have to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, and I'm like, that feels like show is getting at something that is a very that is a problem with social media, like across the board, right? There's no room for you to comment across a spectrum of how you might feel. It's like you either like that shit or you gotta come up with some creative way to get your comment liked underneath, but there's no real way to interact with like a lot of fucking social media unless you actually like it. So giving people a way to natively be encouraged to express how they genuinely feel about something, I feel like this is scratching at like a larger problem with the way social media is structured in 2025.
Well, wait, let me just add some clarity here. So it's not necessarily black and white, especially with people's emotions and opinions. It's not always in the box of either you like something or you don't. Anytime you reply to something, sometimes it's neither. You're just replying to something because your opinion is your opinion in a moment. And that's the kind of power that I want to give and incentivize people to do. So, of course, you can like a cast and then you can express that sentiment with a keyword and emoji combo. Let's say, for example, there's the hot takes emoji keyword combo that has the fire emoji. And then there's a couple other emojis that are similar to hot or spicy. And a hot take is a matter of whether or not like you're just commenting on what you see. You can say, "Oh, that's hot," but that's very simple. I want to give a more broader opportunity for more interesting engagement, interesting content that's being written by the user, because this is going to establish a dialogue. And through this dialogue, there's a lot of frequencies and rhythms in terms of how you feel about what you just saw. So I think even a dislike button is too narrow of a thought. Let's open up what engagement actually looks like on the Farcaster app. Instead of it being bland or something that people don't want to spend their time really looking at. Let's up it a little bit. You know, at the WIP, I'm always screaming hot takes, opinions, and thoughts. This is what this is all about. I wanted to bring that same energy to the Farcaster app via the Zubs app.
No, and I realized that I whittled it down and oversimplified it and everything, but I think like what I was trying to get at is the same thing that you're saying, that on some basic level, you're trying to encourage like more balanced discourse and for people to express their opinion genuinely, and social media, broadly speaking, just it's not a platform. These aren't platforms that are built for people to do that. They're built for people to just straight up like your shit. So I think, yes, I realize it's like way more nuanced than that, and you're encouraging dialogue and everything, but just the fact that this is something that is encouraging more balanced dialogue and more genuine dialogue. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it played out. The other thing I was thinking about that came to mind was Scent, and how, like, you know, there was sort of like a tipping mechanism with that platform that, you know, the idea was for it to encourage people to, you know, essentially like create more thought-provoking content, more interesting comment, more replies that, you know, people would connect with and everything. And I you know, it feels, I don't know, inspired in some ways, maybe consciously or not, but I feel like that's another experiment that is reminiscent of in a lot of ways.
Let's talk about bass.
Do it.
So I'm pretty sure all of you heard the rumors, right? I mean, my opinion about bass overall this year, I feel like they've knocked it out the park in terms of being a relevant L2, in terms of keeping their eye on the space, having the vision of what's coming, wanting to be a part of that, pushing certain things forward, championing things. I feel like they've been checking all the boxes in a way that many other L2s and the organizations or companies associated with them haven't. And I've changed my opinion. I'm a big fan now. Polygon has let me down. I don't know what's going on with that. OP, while creating a great stack in terms of tech and things that are buildable upon, they don't seem to have a foothold in the space. Other than that, Arbitrum doesn't really have its own voice, and they're trying to catch up. They're trying to be like Base, and they're not really doing a good job at that. I think that all eyes are on what's happening with Base right now. I mean, honestly speaking, like my Zubs app is powered by Base now, because the WIP token is only on Base now. So I'm seeing a future, and I'm a fan. I really like what's happening with them.
Yeah. I'll play devil's advocate. I'm generally a fan too. Go ahead, Matt.
No. Hit it with the devil first, and then I'll come in like somewhere in the vanilla middle.
I mean, undoubtedly that's where the momentum is right now, and undoubtedly that's where like they've done a great job of attracting builders and creators. There's like an actual ecosystem there and people in their app, and so I agree with everything that you're saying, that the energy is there. The whole thing feels funny, man. Like, honestly, like and I feel like ever since they started doing like weird things with the terminology, it's felt weird to me, because when it all comes down to this is a centralized L2, right? And so like our alternatives that are not centralized suck. They've dropped the ball continuously, and some are making more strides than others. Most of them are still out there doing something, but this is like a centralized L2 that has very creatively and consciously put out a lot of products that they're calling decentralized, because technically those products are decentralized in the way that they're built, but they're built on this very, very centralized L2. And I feel like they've done they've pretty much stepped in and co-opted the entire narrative, and also energized the ecosystem like simultaneously. And so, you know, the terms that once meant something and once were important to the community are all fucking muddled now. And this is a conscious, marketing campaign essentially on behalf of Base, in order to position themselves in the public dialogue in a way that appeals to people. And it doesn't have international support because of the way that it's centralized. And so that I think is something to be mindful of, that by doing something on Base, you are ruling yourself out of certain ecosystems. And by doing something on a shittier L2 that you don't have as many options or community to purchase your product, you arguably have like a longer tail to tap into broader markets and everything. So I don't know. It's hard. It's hard not to be excited about the shit that's going on Base, because I'm on Farcaster all the fucking time too, and tinkering around with the mini apps. I love the shit that's coming out on there and everything. But in terms of how it fits into like the overall mantra that crypto has been about this whole time, I feel like it's a clever like fork that someone stuck in the road.
I want to provide a rebuttal, but go ahead, Matt.
I think it's net positive, right? Firmly in the camp that if you have anything that generates on-chain revenue, having a token is a great way for anyone to get exposure to it, to leverage network effects, to incentivize X, Y, and Z growth, et cetera, et cetera. I'm more excited for the downstream effects of this, for an entity like Base, who have been pretty staunchly in the we're never going to launch a coin category, to kind of start to reconsider it for various reasons. Very excited to see what that does. For example, a project like Farcaster and a protocol like that also has some pretty non-trivial on-chain revenue flowing through it, and what a token launch there may be able to do in terms of juicing treasuries, funds, grants for builders, for participants, for users, et cetera, on a global scale. Again, devil's in the details. Need to figure out, one, like, will Base launch a network token? And if yes, then like what the hell will that actually look like? Are they going to screw it up in the details? Or are they going to be cypherpunk with it and do something that really, really activates internet capital market and brings more folks into our fold? But that's where I'm coming from. More good than bad, but devil's in the details. Hit Rizzle with the rebuttal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the last person who wants to associate with anything centralized and be told what to do, or like follow some Web 2, some like meat space ethos, some corporate ethos. But Jesse has been doing his thing in a way where many other entities haven't. Without Base, the crypto space as a whole there isn't a lot of forward momentum. Everyone is circling. Not everyone. No, many entities that have been around for a while, who had more than enough time to get it right, that haven't gotten it right, have been circling the drain. The fact that this one entity has been kind of leading the pack now, they kind of broke out. They see where the energy is. They see what certain things have potential, and they threw their weight behind it. And this entity also has a voice in the U.S. government. They have they're deeply entrenched. They have a war chest. They see what's happening here, to the point where they wanted to put their hands around the Farcaster app and rewrap it and represent it, and then throw their own and throw a bridge between their centralized exchange, their wallet, and their customer base, and connect it to this thing. So I think that no other entity has tried to do that. And if they have, we haven't really seen. Solana came out with a cell phone and stuff, but I don't know. And they're not really an L2, even though they act like an L2. I don't know, whatever. My point though is, I think that Matthew, I agree that this is a net positive, even though there are some things that I do dislike about Base. still energy for the space. I'm about the space growing. I'm about this thing continuing, because this could easily not continue. And the fact that this is happening just like it gives us more runway. It just gives us more runway.
It does. I still, it feels ick to me, man. It's like, to me, I'm like, that feels like rosy tinted glasses to feel like, they saw what we were doing here and like threw their weight behind us and like believed in us. I'm like, dude, this is like that masquerading as like a big data capture. Like, marketing is dying, advertising is dying. And this is how like, megacores want to capture data in the future. And like, this app that ties everything, all your fucking personal information together with your shopping habits and like all this shit in exchange for, an airdrop and everything. Feels like really fucking dystopian. And I don't disagree with you that it's a shot in the arm for the industry. And you're also not wrong at all, man. Like we were fucking floundering around for a while until they threw some kerosene on the fire. But I don't trust them worth shit to be like, oh, we just believe in like all these builders and everything. I'm like, dude, there's a reason they're in bed with the government, man. They're getting fucking money to take all of our data and send it over to them, since they can compile it in ways that have never been done before. And they're the only ones who like really have access and the ability to do this. I'm not using that shit, dude. And I will build shit on base, man. Like I said, it's a mixed bag for me. Because it offers the shit that I was bitching about Solana for so long that does not. Like Solana is a centralized fucking, sort of corpo bullshit, essentially an L2, but it offered builders fucking nothing to do with it. And Base has done that. And it is undeniable, but I feel like we're paying for it on the back end. And maybe I haven't pinned it exactly, but I feel like it's something like that.
It's not about trust. It's about energy. I don't trust any of these entities. I'm just saying what I see. And without this energy, many things are floundering in the space. NFTs as a value prop aren't realistic in 2025 anymore as being something to continue to put energy into. Certain crypto tokens, meme coins as a value prop, just alone don't really have a long-term goal, any kind of support. Long-term energy isn't there for a meme coin. What we're seeing right now with mini apps and Base seeing it too just lets me know that the value is in this particular thing. And it doesn't have to look like Farcaster. It doesn't have to look like the Base app. This particular concept, this technology could be repackaged, reformed, reproduced by another centralized entity that we may dislike. I'm not saying I dislike Base yet, but that another centralized entity who does give the ick all the time. And I don't want to give my information over and be the product being sold just to use their front end. That can happen with this right here. It's I don't have rose-tinted glasses. I'm just seeing through the clouds, and I see a future where mini apps are the future, and I see my app being the future too, and I also see Tippin being the future as well. So I just wanted to make that clear that Base has eclipsed Tether, in terms of stablecoin energy. Right, USDC, I think is the number one. The numbers may say otherwise, but I think in terms of social sentiment use case, I think that globally now USDC may have eclipsed Tether because Tether has been going through a lot of issues on the legal side. I believe with Adrian Harris here in New York City, and also the top lawyer, the DA of the Southern District of New York. They've been in litigation in terms of what is Tether, is it a security, things like that. So I think that they took advantage of that. They have their fingers in everything, and we see it now. And I don't like being controlled, but at the same time, they're keeping this thing going. So that's where I'm at on that. And and if a token does come out, I don't know how they're gonna do it. But this could be very interesting. They could do something that OpenSea is not gonna do for the space. So That's gonna be kind of fun to watch.
I don't know, man. Dude, I love you, dude. And I agree with like 95% of what you're saying and everything. And again, man, I'm a hypocrite if I'm, sitting here talking shit on base and I, am behind the coin that we just launched and Babachi came out on base and I'm a fan. It's still, this feels like Facebook 2025. Like if they were to come out and be like, how do we come out with the new product that would properly get back to our good data gathering days, our data gathering heyday, that they would put together some shit like this. And it's hard for me to unsee that and completely detach what's going on from all that, because it all sort of feeds that machine kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too like dystopian about it. And again, I'm the way it's galvanized the space is undeniable, and it's provided opportunities for a lot of people in the community who needed them, myself included, just to be able to get out there and have the tools to build again and everything. So, I'm definitely talking out of both sides of my mouth and everything, but it feels big corpa data capture-y.
Well, if that's the case, then... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think that's the risk, right? And that's why the details will be really important, how they roll this out. Honestly, the less involvement, like specifically Jesse, but like base generally has in how things are allocated, how the token performs, et cetera, the better. I just feel they don't have good taste. Like distill it all down. We've seen that from Coinbase proper, their entry into the NFT market, big splash, and then like it literally nothing happened after the massive party investment and everything like that. Now I think they're helping to power something a little bit more organic, and it's less about them being super late to a party, but they just their team is kind of cringe in how they quote unquote like pick winners and earmark like specific projects and teams for certain like grants and awards and things like that. So the less involvement they have, if and when they actually launch a proper network token, the better, just to mitigate against the things that they're actually not good at. That's like the spiciest I'll probably get.
Hey, if you're worried about data capture, don't use your main email. Don't give your address. Don't give your social security number. Go to your settings, click the box that says don't sell my personal information, and then read the terms of service. If you're really worried about that, do that. I'm about the energy, and even if the energy doesn't look great, doesn't look great under the light, it's still energy for the space. If anything, I want base to have more competition, so it rouses them, it gets them going forward, it gets this whole thing going. Because again, I'm just looking at runway, and it's it looks kind of bleak sometimes. So yeah, I mean, whatever base is trying to do, if it kind of hits the mark, but not 100%, at least it hits something. Yeah.
No, dude, I can get down with that 100%. It's really frustrating to see a lot of like the legacy projects and products just fucking flounder around for so long. We've talked about that before. I mean, MetaMask, OpenSea is like, 10 years deep into like not launching a token. And Polygon, you mentioned, so many of these projects and products started off with like so much potential and just really were never able to take the ball and run with it in the way that the community needed someone to, who had that kind of firepower and everything. And there's a vacuum, I feel like that, base sort of wisely slid into. And man, I'm at the end of the day, I'm here for it because no one else is doing that shit.
Boom. So in terms of dates or milestones or dates, like when should folks be looking out for the mini app? Number one.
When does this episode come out?
We're gonna put the fucking pressure on your ass, dude, and we're gonna get this out today. So you commit to a real date.
Hey, wait, hey, listen. I don't need pressure. I have a lot of pressure, and I'm highly self-motivated. Like, I'm not delayed at all in terms of this app coming out. All right. My priority was making sure that the WIP coin came out. I wanted the app to come out at the same time, but the WIP coin needed just as much attention. So I've been coding my ass off every single day, literally. This isn't me just trying to sound like something or whatever. So the app will be out in a week. So that's what I'm saying, okay? Because QA on Farcaster is its own animal. So when you do that, if you choose the vibe code, even if you choose the vibe code, which I haven't, if you choose the vibe code, your own mini app, you're gonna hit some walls and then see what it is. Instead of me, my thing in crypto has always been, instead of me telling anyone about crypto or any endeavor, right, I'd rather show them. But then when I show them and they still don't understand, I'd rather have them do it. You do it. You do your own mini app, and then you will see. You don't have to trust me. I am trustless. All right. Do your own thing and you'll learn on your own. Okay. But in terms of data timeline, next week.
There we go. You heard it. Whenever you hear this episode, we released it today, and next week the app is coming out. We got you, bro. We got you. Good shit.
Yo, good shit, y'all. Catch you at the WIP. Oh, yeah, we got Johan, Meme Explorers, meme.com coming on the WIP this week with dropping some alpha on us, and we'll be at the historic meme. Not the meme arch. Is the meme arch?
I think he imported the meme march into Hyperfi.
Yeah, from CryptoVoxels. Yep, hell yeah.
Yeah, they got a new launch coming up. Excited for that. I think Easy is going to be coming on talking about something that he has going on with Jose Cabrera. So excited for that too. And then next week we got Legends from DCL coming through. Bay taking us back into DCL and what they have for their end of year programming slate. Excited for that.
Cool. Good shit. See y'all at the WIP.
All right, see y'all.
Yeah. All right, now let me try to save this. Oh shit, what if we weren't recording? That'd be crazy. No, just joking. We got Drago here to bail our asses out too, just in case. And it looks like, yep, not responsive. Thank God. We always keep Drago in the damn box. Drago, are we good? Did you see why?
Yeah, he said he's recording.
Oh, did he? Where is he saying this?
Yeah, in the group, in the chat with the three of us. The podcast.
There we go. It's fine. We got confirmation multiple places. All right, dude. Show. Thank you so much for joining us, dude. It was really cool to get all the details. Honestly, during the afties, you unpacked a lot of it, but just glad that we were able to ask more questions and deliver a few more hot takes along the way. And
yeah, like I told you, I wanted to hop on when I DM'd you like a couple of weeks ago, but I just felt like it was more concrete at this point. So it's a good time. So yeah.
I'm glad you didn't jump on earlier because you kept my ass in the dark, and I'm like trying to feel around to figure out what the hell is coming. And the surprise of all this has been pretty fun, to be honest.
Nah, man, in terms of getting this out, it was, it wasn't like malicious or anything, and I knew that, everybody would be in a good place. It wasn't from that angle of like, oh no, Matthew, like, it wasn't like that. So
awesome, boys. See y'all Thursday.
All right. Yeah, I'll spin up some art for this later this afternoon.
Cool.
All right. Later, y'all.
See you, y'all.